Picture a Saturday afternoon inside a massive big-box electronics store. The showroom is designed to overwhelm your senses. Every screen is glowing. Every TV is playing the same carefully crafted demo footage. Slow-motion waves crashing onto rocks, rainforests glowing with impossible shades of green, golden honey dripping from a silver spoon in razor-sharp detail. Two shoppers stand in the middle of it all. They don't know each other, but they're looking for the exact same thing, a television that's worth their hard-earned money. The first shopper looks straight at the price tags. Almost instantly, buyer anxiety sets in. Dozens of models, dozens of promises, everyone claiming revolutionary technology. One television catches their eye, nearly $3,000. It sits on an illuminated pedestal in the center of the showroom. The brand is familiar, a name they've trusted for years. To them, that price isn't intimidating, it's reassuring, a psychological safety net. Surely a company wouldn't charge that much unless it really was the best. So they swipe their card, certain they've just bought the ultimate home theater. More than that, they believe they've bought peace of mind. The second shopper barely notices the premium displays. They walk past the glowing end caps, past the flashing stickers promising artificial intelligence and quantum leaps. Instead, they choose a television that costs almost half as much. 3 months later, the excitement is gone. Now comes the part that actually matters, living with the purchase. The first shopper settles in for a Friday night thriller. Something feels wrong almost immediately. The shadows aren't black, they're gray, milky, washed out. Then a bright subtitle appears. The entire lower half of the screen glows like a flashlight cutting through fog. The mood of the film disappears. They spent nearly $3,000, yet somehow their living room feels like a second-rate theater. Across town, the second shopper is having a completely different experience. A Sunday afternoon football game still looks bright, even with sunlight pouring through the windows. Later that night, they watch a movie. The letterbox bars stay black. The contrast feels effortless. They keep looking at the screen, wondering how they paid so little for something that looks this good. So what actually happened? Did they just get lucky? Did they stumble across some impossible one-time deal? Not at all, because the smartest TV buyers aren't spending more, they're spending differently. Welcome to ScreenWise. Today, we're breaking down the smartest TV buys of 2026 and exposing why the best value on the showroom floor is rarely the TV with the biggest price tag. The TV industry wants you to believe something that's incredibly profitable, that spending more automatically buys you a better picture. 20 years ago, that was mostly true. Back in the days of bulky CRTs and early plasma TVs, manufacturing was difficult. Building a great television required expensive engineering and years of research. If a company made a better TV, it genuinely cost more to build, and those costs were passed on to the buyer. A premium price usually meant premium hardware. Buy cheap, get cheap. But that world doesn't exist anymore. The industry changed. Most buyers never noticed. Today, television manufacturing is a global commodity business. The display panel inside your TV is no longer a rare engineering achievement. Massive factories now produce millions of LCD and OLED panels every month. Many of the biggest brands source their panels from the same manufacturing ecosystem. As production scaled, the cost of the hardware collapsed. It's never been cheaper to build a physically good television. So here's the obvious question. If the hardware is cheaper than ever, why are flagship TVs still selling for $3,000 or $4,000? Because you're no longer paying only for the hardware. You're paying for the marketing, the national ad campaigns, the premium showroom displays, the sponsorship deals, the retail presence, and perhaps most importantly, the logo on the bottom bezel. A premium price no longer guarantees premium value. Sometimes it simply guarantees a bigger profit margin.
But that shift has created something unexpected, a blind spot. While legacy brands continue charging for decades of reputation, other manufacturers are quietly putting flagship-level hardware into TVs that cost far less. That's where the real value lives, but you'll never find it by staring at the price tag. You have to stop assuming expensive means better and start looking at what actually creates a great picture. To navigate today's TV market, you need a different framework, one built around hardware, not marketing. There are 4 pillars of real television value. Understand these 4, and showroom marketing loses its power. You'll stop seeing flashy stickers and start seeing what's actually inside the TV. The first pillar is panel technology. Think of it as the foundation of the picture. Whether it's LCD or OLED, the panel determines what's physically possible. It defines how light is produced, how contrast begins, and how much performance the TV can ultimately deliver. But even the best panel needs the second pillar, local dimming. This is what separates an average LCD from a great one. Without local dimming, an LCD is essentially one large backlight shining through the entire screen. That's why dark scenes often look gray instead of black. The whole screen is still being illuminated. Local dimming changes that. Instead of one large light source, the backlight is divided into hundreds or even thousands of independently controlled zones. Picture a bright moon in a black night sky. Only the zones behind the moon light up. Everything around it stays dark. The result is deeper contrast, better depth, a far more cinematic image. The third pillar is processing, the invisible brain behind the screen. Almost everything you watch reaches your TV with compromises. Streaming services compress video, cable broadcasts introduce noise, even 4K content loses detail before it arrives in your living room. A weak processor simply displays those flaws. A great processor works in real time, cleaning up compression, reducing artifacts, sharpening detail, making ordinary content look noticeably better. The fourth pillar is price positioning. This one has nothing to do with picture quality. It has everything to do with psychology. A manufacturer launches a TV at $2,000. A few weeks later, it's on sale for $1,500. The goal isn't generosity, it's anchoring. Once your brain accepts the higher price, the discount feels irresistible. Smart buyers don't fall for that. They ignore the sales sticker. They judge the hardware, because hardware creates real value. Brand prestige and fake discounts create perceived value. Once you understand that difference, the TV market starts to look completely different. So let's apply that framework to real products, because this is where expensive marketing starts colliding with reality.
We're going to start in a price bracket that used to be a complete wasteland for quality, the sub-$700 category. 5 years ago, spending under $700 meant accepting real compromises, weak contrast, poor brightness, a picture that struggled the moment sunlight entered the room. In 2026, that has changed dramatically. The Hisense U7Q is one of the clearest examples of how fast this market has moved. It proves something many buyers still underestimate. Technology doesn't stay premium for long. Just a few years ago, Mini LED was reserved for flagship televisions costing thousands of dollars. Today, it's available at prices that would have seemed impossible. Mini LED simply means the backlight uses thousands of much smaller LEDs. More LEDs allow more precise lighting control. That means brighter highlights, better contrast, and far less blooming around bright objects. Hisense brought that technology into a price range most buyers can actually afford, and the result is remarkably balanced. It gets exceptionally bright. If your living room fills with afternoon sunlight, the picture still cuts through the glare. Then, when night falls, its local dimming keeps that brightness under control. Blacks stay convincingly dark, HDR looks impactful, colors stay vibrant without looking exaggerated. It also includes the gaming features modern buyers expect, including high refresh rates and variable refresh rate support. The U7Q doesn't dominate in just one category. It performs well almost everywhere. And that's exactly why it represents such strong value. But Hisense isn't the only company changing expectations at this price. The TCL QM7K takes a different approach. If the Hisense is balanced, the TCL is unapologetically aggressive. TCL has built its reputation by doing one thing extremely well, delivering more hardware than its price suggests. The QM7K packs outstanding brightness and impressive contrast into a television that competes with models costing significantly more. HDR content has real impact. Bright highlights finally look bright. Explosions feel intense. Reflections and sunlight have the punch they're supposed to. This used to be reserved for premium televisions. Today, it isn't. That tells you something important about the modern TV market. The brands fighting for attention often deliver the best value. They can't rely on decades of reputation. They have to win with hardware. And the QM7K does exactly that. Together, the Hisense U7Q and TCL QM7K prove something that would have sounded unbelievable only a few years ago. You no longer need a flagship budget to get a genuinely impressive television. So what happens when you move beyond this price tier? What does spending a little more actually buy you? If this documentary has already saved you from making an expensive mistake, consider subscribing to ScreenWise. Every video is built around one goal, helping you see past the marketing before you spend your money.
This is where the market gets interesting. The sweet spot. The price tier where you're no longer paying just for better hardware. You're paying for refinement, better processing, better usability, and a television that's simply easier to live with. This is where the Sony Bravia 7 enters the conversation. Sony is one of the most interesting companies in the TV industry. They don't manufacture every panel themselves. Like many brands, they source panels from the same global suppliers. So why do Sony TVs continue to command a premium? Processing. The Bravia 7 proves that great picture quality isn't just about brightness or contrast. It's about what the television does with the signal before it reaches your eyes. Sony's Cognitive Processor XR remains one of the best image processors in the business. It isn't trying to create the brightest showroom image. It's trying to create the most natural one. Older TV shows look cleaner. Compressed streaming content looks sharper. Skin tones stay realistic instead of overly smooth. Fine textures remain detailed without looking artificial. Motion is where Sony continues to stand apart. Watch a fast hockey game or a Formula One race on an average TV, and fast-moving objects can blur or stutter. On the Bravia 7, motion stays remarkably smooth without looking unnatural. The Bravia 7 proves an important point. Sometimes, better processing improves the viewing experience more than another few hundred nits of brightness. But not every living room is built like a home theater. Some are bright, some are busy, some have windows everywhere. That's where Samsung takes a different approach. The Samsung QN85F is designed for real-world living. It combines bright mini-LED performance with features that make everyday viewing easier. Wide viewing angles keep the picture consistent even if you're sitting off to the side. An effective anti-glare coating helps reduce reflections from large windows and bright rooms. The result is a television that feels comfortable almost anywhere. Sports stay bright, games look vibrant. Daytime viewing remains enjoyable without constantly closing the curtains. The QN85F shows that paying a little more isn't always about chasing better specifications. Sometimes it's about buying a television that fits the way your family actually watches TV. Now we move into the most dangerous part of the market, the premium tier. This is where the marketing gets louder and the prices climb much faster than the performance. Many flagship TVs deliver only a small improvement in picture quality for a dramatically higher price. That's the law of diminishing returns. But value doesn't stop at a certain budget. Value isn't about spending less,
It's about getting what you actually pay for. And in 2026, there are two premium televisions that genuinely earn their price. The first is the LG C6 OLED. The C-Series has become one of the most respected TV lineups for a reason. It sits at the point where OLED performance finally makes financial sense. Unlike every LCD television we've discussed so far, OLED doesn't rely on a backlight. Every individual pixel produces its own light, and every pixel can switch off completely. That creates true black. Not dark gray, not almost black, perfect black. Watch a film set in deep space, and the stars appear brilliantly bright, while the surrounding sky disappears into complete darkness. The contrast is extraordinary. It creates a level of depth that conventional LCD panels still struggle to match. So why recommend the C6 instead of LG's flagship G6? Because this is where the value lives. The G6 asks you to spend considerably more for gains that most people simply won't notice. The C6 delivers almost everything that makes OLED exceptional without asking you to pay flagship money. It's a superb choice for movie lovers, outstanding for gaming, and one of the easiest premium TVs to recommend. But some buyers want one thing OLED still can't fully deliver: extreme brightness. That's where Sony enters the conversation. The Bravia 9 is expensive. There's no getting around that. But it's also one of the clearest examples of a flagship done properly. Instead of relying on premium branding, Sony invested in the hardware. The Bravia 9 pushes mini LED technology to an extraordinary level. Thousands of dimming zones work alongside Sony's XR processor to control light with remarkable precision. Bright highlights stay bright. Dark scenes stay dark. HDR looks powerful without washing out the rest of the image. The result is one of the most balanced and cinematic pictures currently available. Build quality is excellent. Processing remains among the best in the industry. And unlike many flagship televisions, the premium isn't just reflected in the price, it's reflected in the experience. The Bravia 9 reminds us of one important lesson. Expensive doesn't always mean overpriced. The smartest buyers don't avoid premium televisions. They avoid premium prices that aren't backed by premium hardware.
So, how do you turn all of this into the right decision for your own home? You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need to memorize dozens of technical specifications. You just need one framework. Let's look at the board one last time. The Hisense U7Q is the balanced value pick. The TCL QM7K delivers the most hardware for the money. The Sony Bravia 7 is the processing champion. The Samsung QN85F is built for bright, everyday living spaces. The LG C6 OLED is where OLED becomes worth paying for. And the Sony Bravia 9 is the flagship that genuinely earns its premium. Now notice what's missing from that list. We never judged a television by the shape of its stand. We never cared how thin the bezel was, and we never based a recommendation on the marketing printed across the box. Because value has never been about price alone. It's about how much performance you get for the money you spend. Go back to the two shoppers from the beginning. The first spent nearly $3,000 believing a higher price guaranteed a better television. It didn't. They paid for reputation, marketing, and perceived safety. The second shopper spent far less, but they understood what actually mattered: panel technology, local dimming, processing, and honest value. They didn't buy a cheap television, they bought the right one. The TV market is designed to make buying feel complicated. It wants you to believe the safest choice is the most expensive one, but now you know better. The smartest TV buyers aren't chasing the highest price. They're chasing the biggest gap between price and performance. If you're planning to upgrade your TV this year, let me know what you're considering in the comments. Include your budget, your room setup, and how you normally watch TV. I'll do my best to point you toward the strongest value for your situation.
Thanks for watching ScreenWise. Stay smart, and I'll see you in the next documentary. If this documentary helped you see the TV market a little differently, subscribe to ScreenWise. Every week, we break down the psychology, the marketing, and the buying decisions that cost people the most money. And before you go, tell me one thing. Which TV are you thinking about buying? I'll be reading the comments, and I try to help as many people as I can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next documentary.